Hello everyone and welcome to another lecture of PHP and MySQL. In this lecture we will continue and try to do pretty much the same thing we did in the last lecture, but for the edit values. Okay, so for each user or registered user we have on our database, we'll be able to delete. This is already working, and we'll be able to edit his name or email, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, so let's go to output.php, and here we are. And if you go to this line 38, we are passing values through get. Okay, so we're passing the ID, first name, last name. Okay, so I'm going to do pretty much the same thing for the edit line here. Okay, so what we can do, it's pretty much save this until here, copy, and paste it here. So we will pass the first name, so we can change it. You can pass the ID as well if you want. You can pass the last name, and we will pass also the email, so we can change the email. So since we are getting all the we have the registration date, the last name, first name, email. Since we are getting all of these through the query in here, okay, select last name, first name, email, and then the registration date as well. We can, using the while loop, we can get them all, and then we can pass these values to whatever script we want. Okay, so we're gonna do this for the edit, first name, last name, and then we still missed the email. So let's do the email. So we need to create variable email. And we need the ampersand here. Equals to, and here we type row and then email and single quotes here. Instead of email here, let's type L email. Okay, and we are done. Okay, so let me just check one more time if everything is okay. And yes, I think we are done pretty much. So let's save this. And we need to create now a new script file, new PHP file. It's going to be called edit_user.php. Okay. So the first thing you're going to do in edit_user.php is create a new form. Okay, I already created mine, so you can copy this. It's you can title it as edit user, form action, edit user.php, method post, and then you have user ID, first name, last name, and email. Okay, now these are the values that we'll be able to edit. Not the user ID, so input type here, instead of text, we're going to type hidden. Okay, so let's save this, and then you have user ID as the name of the input, and you need to put, this is very important, echo get user ID. So these are the values that we are going to pass through the URL from the output.php, from this line here. Okay, so make sure you have get user ID, get f name, get l name, and get l email. Okay, and then you have to give new names, user ID here, first name here, last name, xemail, and that's it. Okay, and you can also create at the bottom a link to the output.php so we can see the records whenever we want. So now whenever we click submit, we'll create the changes for email, last name, and first name for the user. So we need to create now the PHP script that will do all the changes on our database. And to start, let's start with if, so we can make sure that there's a post method running. So if request method equals to post, do the following. Now let's include the connection to the database, which is called connection.php. And after that, we need to create new variables for these inputs here, here, and here. So whenever we type the changes, we can grab those. So let's type email, and this is equal to the post, and the first one is first name. Okay, so we also need the user ID, so let's use their user ID here. User ID, and we need to change this to, let's call this ID now, semicolon, and now new one, let's call this email equal to post, then this is the, let me check here, xemail, so xemail. And now the first name, so here we can type ff name equals to post, and here let's type first name, and finally ll name, which is the last name. It's going to be post last name, so last name. Okay, and we are done. So the next thing is, the next step is to create the query. So q equals to, and let's do the update users and set first name. This would be the field name that we have on the database. Okay, so this is equal to single quotes, and now we type the variable ff name. Okay, so ff name, comma, and we want to set also the last name, so last name equals to ll name, forgot the dollar symbol there, and now we can do the email, so email equals to variable email. And now in order to change this to the correct user or the ID user, we type where ID is equal to, and now use the ID now variable. Okay, ID now. Okay, so now semicolon. Now, whenever we get the ID 17, for example, which belongs to Victor or whatever user, all their values will be set with the values that we type, the new values that we type in the form. Okay. So now we type R equals to MySQL I query. Now I type dbc out q, and in here we're going to type an if condition saying, so you can know that something has changed in the database, MySQL I affected rows. Okay, and to do this we need parentheses, and if there's a affected row equal to 1, means that we have changed a new user, and in here we can type echo the user info has been changed successfully. Okay, and let's save this. Down here we are done. We can type an else here saying echo out error something went wrong. Okay, and save this, and I think we are done. So let's try and see if everything is working fine. Okay, so we are here. Just type here this. So we have B John. So let's edit this. We have user ID. Let's take this out of here. Let's go back here. We don't need this in here. Let's save it. Let's go back. Okay, so let's refresh, click edit. So we have first name John. So let's type here Victor and Victor B. So save changes. The user info has been changed successfully. See records, and there it is. Okay, I want to change now the Cruz L. So edit L Alex Cruz, and here I can type Alex, save changes, see records, and there it is. Okay, boom. So everything is working perfectly. This is how we can change all the either the first name, last name, or the email of the user. And if you have other information that you want to store or change on your database from each user, you now know how to do it, okay, or how to edit it. You just put one more field, and then you have to pass the values from the output through get, okay, so you can change them. So that's it. See you guys in the next lecture. Bye.